All right, everybody. In this recording, I'm just going to tell you about all six PBS Kids events and the DVDs that I have with 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 them. And now I'm not going to tell you all the episodes on here on those DVDs to save time. I'm just going to give you a brief fun fact about those PBS Kids idents, and I'll just tell you which PBS Kids ident appears on those DVDs that I have. So, from 1999 to 2008, there were six original PBS Kids system cues that appeared at the end of certain PBS Kids programming at the time. And these six original PBS Kids system cues were the dash system cue, the dot system cue, the dash transformation system cue, the dot transformation system cue, the fishbowl system cue, and the snow globe system cue. First, we're going to be talking about the 1999 PBS Kids Dash system cue, of course. And in the 1999 PBS Kids Dash system cue, it starts off on a lime green background, and it's got a close-up of an eyeball that blinks, and the camera zooms out to reveal that the eyeball is coming from a boy whose name is Dash. And we see Dash's face, and then he points his finger in his head as he's trying to think about something, and he scratches his head like this. And then afterwards he goes, doink! And then after that, the background, the lime green background, zooms out to reveal that it is a lime green circle that zooms out, and the circle has the black letters PBS on it, which grows inside a white thought bubble, and the letters PBS grow until they reach the thought bubble, and the background in the 1999 PBS Kids Dash system cue, the background is on a pink and white vertical striped background for the 1999 PBS Kids Dash system cue. I have around 5 DVDs with the original 1999 PBS Kids Dash system cue, unless you really count the kids video versions, which I am only including versions that have the DVDs that have the televised version that says pbskids.org on them, just to save time. So anyway, I have around 5 DVDs that have the televised version of the 1999 PBS Kids Dash system cue that says pbskids.org on them. And we're going to look at the releases briefly, chronologically. So, the DVDs that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dash system cue, 2 of them are Dinosaur Train DVDs. One is the 2010 DVD release of Dinosaur Train, Dinosaurs Under the Sea, which features the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident at the beginning after the warning screen, and at the end after the Dinosaur Train funding. credits. The other Dinosaur Train DVD that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dash System Q is, of course, the 2011 DVD release of Dinosaur Big City. This also features the 1999 PBS Kids Dash item at the beginning, after the warning, and also at the very end of the DVD as well. And the disc. And of course the other three DVDs that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dash System Q are Super Y DVD releases, which I know Movie and Game Lover 98 completely despises Super Y and does not like it. But for anyone who doesn't like Super Y, I respect their opinion, but I'll just show them up very, very quickly. One of the three Super Wide DVDs that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dash System Q is the 2009 DVD release of Super Wide Jack and the Beanstalk and Other Fairy Tale Adventures. This has the 1999 PBS Kids Dash System Q appear at the beginning after the warning screen and at the end right after the funding credits. Next, the second Super Wide DVD that I have, the 1999 PBS Kids Dash System Q at the end. Dash System Q in general is the 2010 DVD release of Super Wide Peter Rabbit and Other Fairy Tale Adventures. This also features the 1999 PBS Kids Dash System Q at the beginning of the DVD after the warning screen and at the end of the DVD after the funding. And the very last Super Wide DVD that I have that has the PBS Kids Dash System Q from 1999 is the 2010 DVD release of Super Wide Attack of the Eraser, which features the 1999 PBS Kids Dash System cue at the beginning of the DVD, after the warning screen, and at the end of the DVD after the funding for Super Y. There's the disc. And those were all the DVDs with the Dash System cue. Now I'd like to tell you about the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System cue. Just like the Dash System cue, the Dot System cue premiered on television on September 6, 1999 as well. In the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System cue, you see the exact same lime green background that was in the Dash System cue, but there is a pathway at the bottom of the screen in the Dot System cue, and you see a girl named Dot, and she runs very quickly to the front of the TV screen, and then she turns to the right side, and then turns to the left side, and smiles. And then after this, like before, you see the lime green circle, which zooms out, and then the black letters PBS appear, and they grow onto a white thought bubble. But unlike the Dash System cue, where the background was a pink and white vertical striped background, the Dot System cue, on the other hand, has a multicolored striped background with pink, yellow, blue, and a little bit of dark green stripes in it. And they start moving around in the dot ident. Now, I have a lot of DVDs with the Dot System cue. 5 Arthur DVDs, 16 Dragon Tales, and 4 JJ the Jet Plane DVD releases that have the Dot System cue. First, we'll start with the 5 Arthur releases with the Dot System cue. Alright, the first Arthur release that I have with the Dot System cue is a 2003 DVD release of Arthur Goes to Hollywood, which was originally released back on VHS in 2000. But this is the 2003 DVD release, which also has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System cue intact, and the Dot System cue appears at the very end of this DVD, right after the post-alphabets Make Up a Million Words to Tell Billions of Stories ad with the boy announcer. And we have the sponsors being Libby's Juicy Juice from 1997 to 2000, even though the updated Libby's Juicy Juice logo is on the back. And then Baby Gap, even though Lego is incorrectly sponsored on the back cover of the DVD. And then Post-Alphabets Make Up a Million Words to Tell Billions of Stories with the boy announcer is shown. And also, here is the disc. And the next Arthur release that I have of the Dot System Q is a 2003 DVD release of Arthur's Famous Friends, which was also released on VHS back in 2000, originally on VHS. But this is the 2003 DVD release, which also has the 1999, which the DVD release from 2003 also has the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident intact, and it appears at the very end of the DVD, right after the post-alphabets make up a million words to tell billions of stories ad with the boy announcer, like before. And the sponsors are Libby's Juicy Juice from 1997 to 2000, even though the updated Libby's Juicy Juice logo is on the back, and then Baby Gap, even though Lego is incorrectly sponsored on the back cover of the DVD, and then Post Alphabets make up a million words to tell billions of stories with the boy announcer. Here's the disc. The next Arthur release that I have with the Dot System Q on it is a 2002 DVD release of Arthur's Scary Stories, which was originally released on VHS back in 2000. And the 2002 DVD release also features the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident kept intact, and it appears at the very end of the DVD of Arthur's Scary Stories after the post alphabets make the words that let you share your feelings at this time. And the sponsors are Libby's Juicy Juice from 1997 to 2000, even though the updated Libby's Juicy Juice logo is on the back cover of the DVD. And then Baby Gap, even though Lego is incorrectly sponsored on the back cover of the DVD. And then Post Alphabets make the words that let you share your feelings. This is also the only Arthur release. Arthur's Scary Stories is also the only Arthur DVD release to have the Arthur Video Collection promo at the very end. And here's the disc. The next Arthur release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot System Q on it is a 2002 DVD release of Arthur's Best School Days, and it was originally released on VHS back in 2001. And the 2002 DVD release also has the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident intact, and it appears right after the Season 5 funding with the Blueberry Blue flower bed background at the very end of the DVD. And the sponsors start off with Post Alphabets on this DVD, and then Lego, and then Libby's Juicy Juice is the last sponsor. And by the way, here's the disc. And the last Arthur release that I have with the PBS Kids dot System Q from 1999 on it is the 2002 DVD release of Arthur Goes to the Doctor. which was originally released on VHS back in 2001. And the 2002 DVD release of Arthur Goes to the Doctor has the original Season 5 funding with the Blueberry Blue Flower Bed background and the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident kept intact. And it appears at the very end of the DVD, after the Season 5 funding, of course. And the sponsors start off with Post Alphabets, and then Lego, and then Libby's Juicy Juice as the last sponsor on this DVD, just like with Arthur's Best School Days. And here's the disc. Those were all the Arthur DVD releases I had with the dot system Q. And now we'll get into the Dragon Tales DVD releases with the dot system Q. Now, in 3 days, I will be giving you a more in-depth look. I will be giving you guys a more in-depth look at those Dragon Tales DVDs in 3 days. For here, right now, I'm going to be showing off those Dragon Tales DVD releases pretty quickly. But in 3 days, I will be showing them again, and I will give you guys a more in-depth look at them when I show them with Movie and Game Lover 98 in 3 days when I do my Dragon Tales DVD Collection 2024 edition stream. The first Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system Q on it is the 2000 DVD release of Dragon Tales Adventures in Dragonland, which on this DVD of Dragon Tales Adventures in Dragonland, it has the 1999 PBS Kids dot system Q appear at the very end of the DVD, right after the Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales. And Dragon Tales Adventures in Dragonland also uses the 1997 Children's Television Workshop logo intact with the semicircle and the words "Play It Smart" at the bottom, even though it has the Sesame Workshop logo on the packaging. And here is the disc. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system Q at the end is Dragon Tales Let's Share Let's Play 2001 DVD release. And this DVD of Dragon Tales Let's Share Let's Play features the 1999 PBS Kids dot system Q at the end of the DVD after the Season 2 funding. Here. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue on it is the 2002 DVD release of Dragon Tales Don't Give Up. And this DVD of Dragon Tales Don't Give Up features the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue on it after the Season 1 funding, just like with the Adventures in Dragonland DVD. But unlike the Adventures in Dragonland DVD, this DVD of Dragon Tales Don't Give Up actually features the Sesame Workshop logo like most of those Dragon Tales DVD releases. And here's the disc. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue on it is the 2002 DVD release of Dragon Tales Yes We Can. And this DVD of Dragon Tales Yes We Can features the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident after the Season 2 funding at the very end of the DVD. Just like with Dragon Tales Let's Share, Let's Play. Here's the disc. Even all the episodes on Yes We Can and Let's Share, Let's Play are from Season 1. The Season 2 funding is used on those DVDs of Let's Share, Let's Play and Yes We Can. And all the other Dragon Tales DVD releases released after this one. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue on it is the 2002 DVD release of Dragon Tales It's Cool to Be Me. And just like with Dragon Tales Yes We Can and Let's Share, Let's Play, this DVD of Dragon Tales It's Cool to Be Me also features the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue at the end of the DVD after the Season 2 funding. And here's the disc. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue on it is a 2003 DVD release of Dragon Tales EAS 1, 2, 3. And this DVD of Dragon Tales EAS 1, 2, 3 uses the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue on it at the very end of the DVD after the Season 2 funding. And here's the disc. The next Dragon Tales DVD that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system queue on it is a 2003 DVD release of Dragon Tales Let's Start a Band. And this DVD of Dragon Tales Let's Start a Band uses the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue at the end after the Season 2 funding of Dragon Tales. And here's the disc for Dragon Tales Let's Start a Band. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have, the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue on it, is a 2003 DVD release of Dragon Tales We Can Work It Out. And this DVD of Dragon Tales We Can Work It Out also uses the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue on it after the Season 2 funding at the end of the DVD. Here's the disc. And the next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue on it is a 2003 DVD release of Dragon Tales We Can Solve It Together. And like before, this DVD of Dragon Tales We Can Solve It Together also uses the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue at the end of the DVD after the Season 2 funding. This disc. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have, the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue on it, is a 2004 DVD release of Dragon Tales Whenever I'm Afraid. And this DVD of Dragon Tales Whenever I'm Afraid uses the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue at the end of the DVD after the Season 2 funding. And for some reason, this DVD of Dragon Tales Whenever I'm Afraid uses the 2002 Sony Pictures television logo, but it uses the audio from the Columbia TriStar television logo for some reason. The other Dragon Tales DVD releases released before this had the Columbia TriStar television logo on it. And on Dragon Tales Let's Start a Band, it uses the correct music in the Sony Pictures television logo for Let's Start a Band. Unlike Whenever I'm Afraid, Let's Start a Band, on the other hand, uses the correct music in the Sony Pictures television logo here. But not on Whenever I'm Afraid. That one uses the audio from the Columbia TriStar television logo on the Sony Pictures television logo for this DVD. Here's the disc again. The next DVD release that I have of Dragon Tales with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Dragon Tales Believe in Yourself. And on this DVD of Dragon Tales Believe in Yourself, it This DVD of Dragon Tales Believe in Yourself features the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue appear at the very end of the DVD after the Season 2 funding. And while the DVD of Whenever I'm Afraid used the Sony Pictures Television logo with the audio from the Columbia TriStar Television logo playing over it, this DVD of Dragon Tales Believe in Yourself, on the other hand, uses the 2002 Sony Pictures Television logo with its correct audio, just like with Let's Start a Band. And they got it right here on this DVD of Dragon Tales Believe in Yourself. Here's the disc. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue on it is a 2005 DVD release of Dragon Tales Playing Fair Mix Playing Fun. And on this DVD, Dragon Tales Playing Fair Mix Playing Fun has the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue appear at the very end of the DVD, and it strangely appears after the Season 2 funding on this DVD, even though it has one Season 3 episode with Enrique on it, on Playing Fair Mix Playing Fun, for some reason. It's weird because Playing Fair Mix Playing Fun features one Season 3 episode with Enrique, but it actually features the Season 2 funding before the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident at the very end of this DVD. And the Sony Pictures Television logo also uses the correct music, just like with Believe in Yourself and Let's Start a Band on this DVD of Playing Fair Mix Playing Fun. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue on it is the 2006 DVD release of Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique. And unlike the DVD of Playing Fair Mix Playing Fun, which only had one episode with Enrique on it, this DVD of Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique features all 5 episodes feature Enrique on it here. And as a result, all 5 episodes on here are from Season 3. And unlike the DVD of Dragon Tales Playing Fair Mix Playing Fun, which incorrectly used the Season 2 funding plug despite one Season 3 episode appearing, this DVD of Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique actually features the correct Season 3 funding plug for Dragon Tales, with the Ready to Learn and No Child Left Behind grants and U.S. Department of Education centered on the screen, instead of the U.S. Department of Education being shown on the right side with the boy on the left side. And this DVD of Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique has the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue appear on it after the Season 3 funding on here. This DVD of Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique features the 1999 PBS Kids dot system cue at the end of the DVD after the Season 3 funding. And the Sony Pictures Television logo on this DVD of Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique has the correct music on it as well. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q on it is the 2006 DVD release of Dragon Tales Let's Be Brave. Which this DVD of Dragon Tales Let's Be Brave also has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q appear after the Season 3 funding at the end of the DVD, just like with Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique. However, we get back to having just one episode from Season 3 on this DVD of Dragon Tales Let's Be Brave, while all the rest of the episodes here are from Season 1. And the Sony Pictures Television logo uses the correct music on this DVD of Dragon Tales Let's Be Brave as well. The next Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q on it is the 2006 DVD release of Dragon Tales Experience New Things, which this DVD of Dragon Tales Experience New Things also has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q appear at the very end of the DVD after the Season 3 funding, just like with Say Hello to Enrique and Let's Be Brave. And here's the disc for Dragon Tales Experience New Things. Mine's a 2009 reprint on the disc. The packaging is from 2006, but the disc inside is a 2009 reprint. This next and this last Dragon Tales DVD release that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q on it is a 2009 DVD release of Dragon Tales Our Amazing Pets. Which, on this DVD of Dragon Tales Our Amazing Pets, it has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q appear at the end of the DVD after the Season 3 funding, just like with Say Hola to Enrique, Let's Be Brave, and Experience New Things. Here's the disc. And those were all the Dragon Tales DVD releases I had with the Dot System Q on it. And now we'll get into 4 JG the Jet Plane DVD releases with the Dot System Q on it. Which, just like with the Dragon Tales DVD releases, those JG the Jet Plane releases with the Dot System Q were also released by Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment. And they're all released in 2002. The first one is the 2002 DVD release of Dragon Tales of JG the Jet Plane, 2002 DVD release of JG the Jet Plane Adventures in Learning. And this DVD has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q appear at the very end of the DVD, after the end credits, and before the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo appears. And here's the disc for JJ the Jet Plane Adventures in Learning. And if you want to know the company of the Arthur DVD releases, Sony Wonder released those Arthur DVDs that I showed you earlier. The next DVD release of JJ the Jet Plane that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q is the 2002 DVD release of JJ the Jet Plane Supersonic Pals. And like Adventures in Learning, this DVD release of JJ the Jet Plane Supersonic Pals also has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q appear at the end of the DVD after the credits and before the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo appears. Here's the disc. The next JJ the Jet Plane release that I have with the PBS Kids Dot System Q on it is a 2002 DVD release of JJ the Jet Plane Learning Life's Little Lessons, which like before, this DVD release of JJ the Jet Plane Learning Life's Little Lessons has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q appear after the end credits at the end of the DVD before the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo. Here's the disc. And the last JJ the Jet Plane DVD release and the last DVD release in general that I have with the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q on it is the 2002 DVD release of JJ the Jet Plane Lessons for All Seasons, which, like before, Lessons for All Seasons also has the 1999 PBS Kids Dot System Q on it at the very end of the DVD, after the end credits and before the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo appears. And here is the disc. For some reason, Big Jake is on the disc, but the back cover shows Old Oscar. But what can you do? And those were all the DVD releases I had with the PBS Kids Dot System Q from 1999. I have counted them, and I have 25 DVDs with the Dot System Q. That is 20 more DVDs that I have with the Dot System Q than I have with the Dash one. Now I'd like to talk to you about the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q. The PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appeared on September 4th, 2000, which was the same day Clifford the Big Red Dog and Caillou premiered on PBS Kids. And in the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q, it starts off on a swamp a dark green swamp-like background with lime green circles, and you see Dash, the boy, which he has a pinkish, reddish pink skin instead of lime green, and he first starts off as a caveman as he walks onto the circles, and then he transforms into a scuba diver, and the green background then becomes blue as the land becomes water, and the circles start becoming a bright blue cyan color. And Dash now has purple skin when he becomes a scuba diver. And then he transforms again into a robot as the water background later becomes a darker blue with stars in the sky, and it becomes a sky-like background. And Dash this time has yellow skin as he turns into a robot or becomes a robot, and then he grabs the letters PBS with a pair of magnetic robot-like arms and machinery and stuff. And then, after he grabs the letters PBS, he transforms into a circular PBS Kids logo. And the background is a pale springbud background with dark blue circular molecules or bubbles dancing around. I have a lot of DVDs with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it as well. But unlike the DVD releases with the dot system cue that I had from 1999, all of the DVD releases that I have with the Dash Transformation System cue are ARFR releases. Mainly from Sony Wonder, with a few Our Time Family Entertainment releases. The first release that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2003 DVD release of ARFR's Tasty Treats, which has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear at the end of the DVD, after the ARFR funding credits from seasons 7 through 8 used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns, and it's got the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background on this DVD. And the sponsors start off with Chuck E. Cheese's being the first, then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then post alphabets make the words that let you share your feelings. Here's the disc. The next release that I have with the Dash Transformation, the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, is a 2003 DVD release of ARFR's Best Friends, which I know my good friend Soundcheck also has on DVD. And just like with ARFR's Tasty Treats, this DVD of ARFR's Best Friends also has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the season 7 through 8 funding used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background at the end of the DVD, with the sponsors being exactly the same in the same order, with Chuck E. Cheese's and then Libby's Juicy Juice and then post alphabets. Here's the disc. Next release that I have, the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, is a 2003 DVD release of Arthur's Baby, which also has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue, on which this DVD of Arthur's Baby also has the 2000 PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur, used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Chuck E. Cheese's being the first sponsor, then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then post-alphabets. Here's the disc. The next Arthur release that I have, the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, is Arthur Writes a Story, 2003 DVD release. Just like with Arthur's Baby. And Arthur Writes a Story also has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur, used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background. And here's the disc. The next Arthur release that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2003 DVD release of Arthur's Teacher Trouble, which, like before, Arthur's Teacher Trouble has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur, used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then post-alphabets, just like with Arthur's Tasty Treats, Arthur's Best Friends, Arthur's Baby, and Arthur Writes a Story, respectively, all released in 2003 as well. Alright. The next Arthur release that I have, the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, is a 2003 DVD release of Arthur's Pet Business, which this DVD of Arthur's Pet Business also features the 2000 PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur, used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background. And here's the disc for Arthur's Pet Business. The next Arthur release that I have with the 2000 PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur Saves the Day. And this DVD of Arthur Saves the Day has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns, but this time with the grassy green checkered grid background with Post Alphabets as the first sponsor, then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Libby's Juicy Juice is the last sponsor. Here's the disc. The next Arthur release that I have, the 2000 PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's Lost Library Book, which this DVD of Arthur's Lost Library Book has the 2000 PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Arthur Season 7 through 8 funding used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background. Just like with Arthur's Tasty Treats, Arthur's Best Friends, Arthur's Baby, Arthur Writes a Story, Arthur's Teacher Trouble, and Arthur's Pet Business. With Chuck E. Cheese's as the first sponsor, and then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets for Arthur's Lost Library Book. And here's the disc for Arthur's Lost Library Book. The next Arthur DVD release that I have, the 2000 PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur Makes the Team, which this DVD of Arthur Makes the Team, with this DVD of Arthur Makes the Team having the 2000 PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Arthur funding credits from Season 7 through 8 used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the grassy green checkered grid background, just like with Arthur Saves the Day, with Post Alphabets as the first sponsor. But there's a major error, as Teddy Grahams is mistakenly sponsored on the back cover. And then after Post Alphabets is the first sponsor, then we have Chuck E. Cheese's and then Libby's Juicy Juice as the last sponsor. Disc. The next Arthur release that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Parents Are From Pluto, which this DVD of Parents Are From Pluto has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Season 6 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background, with Post Alphabets being the first sponsor, and then Chuck E. Cheese's opening door, and then, of course, the opening door ad of Chuck E. Cheese's is used this time, unlike the 2003 to early 2004 releases, which had the Exercises version. Anyway, it's got Post Alphabets as the first sponsor for Parents Are From Pluto, and then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Libby's Juicy Juice. The disc. The next release that I have, the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, is the 2004 DVD release of the W Thinks Big, which has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur, used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with the grassy green checkered grid background, with Teddy Grahams being the first sponsor, and then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Libby's Juicy Juice. And yes, Teddy Grahams is correctly sponsored. Post Alphabets is also sponsored correctly on Parents Are From Pluto. And there was the disc. The next release that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's Family Vacation. And this DVD of Arthur's Family Vacation uses the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue at the very end after the Arthur funding credits from Season 7 through 8, used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Chuck E. Cheese's being the first sponsor, and then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Teddy Grahams Snacks, which is also correctly sponsored on the back cover of this DVD of Arthur's Family Vacation. And here's the disc for Arthur's Family Vacation. The next DVD release of Arthur that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's School of Hard Knocks. And this DVD of Arthur's School of Hard Knocks features the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Arthur funding credits from Season 7 through 8, used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with the grassy green checkered grid background. And it has Juicy Juice being the first sponsor, and then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Post Alphabets, which is sponsored correctly here. Here's the disc for Arthur's School of Hard Knocks. I also have a VHS release of Arthur's Double Dare that has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue at the end of the release, with the same color background as Arthur's School of Hard Knocks, the grassy green checkered grid background, in the Season 7 through 8 funding, used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns, and it has the same order of sponsors as the DW Thinks Big release. The next release that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's New Puppy, which has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur funding credits from season 7 through 8, with the grassy green checkered grid background used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with Chuck E. Cheese's as the first sponsor, and then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets as the last sponsor. But again, there is a major error, as Teddy Grahams is mistakenly sponsored on the back cover incorrectly. That's the problem with some of those Arthur releases from 2004. They incorrectly used the wrong sponsor on the back cover. It mostly has Teddy Grahams mistakenly sponsored on the back cover for some releases, but there are a few that have Post Alphabets incorrectly sponsored. And there's actually a program break that has the same order of sponsors as this DVD of Arthur's New Puppy, and also has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation ident on it, just like the DVD of Arthur's New Puppy. But instead of the grassy green checkered grid background, it's the Velveeta cheesy yellow pizza triangle background shown in the program break. Even though the sponsors are the same order. And according to the program break, it was taken after the episodes Arthur's Family Vacation and Grandpa Dave's Old Country Farm. The next release of Arthur that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q on it is Arthur's First Sleepover 2004 DVD release, which has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur funding credits from seasons 7 through 8, used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with the grassy green checkered grid background on this DVD of Arthur's First Sleepover, but with Juicy Juice being the first sponsor, and then Teddy Grahams, and then Chuck E. Cheese's is the last sponsor. And there's another strange error that the funding for Arthur's provided by Screen appears twice instead of once, like it should. Normally, it should appear once, but on this DVD, it accidentally appears twice. And yes, Teddy Grahams is sponsored correctly on the DVD of Arthur's First Sleepover, unlike with Arthur's New Puppy, which had Post Alphabets being shown on the screen, with Teddy Grahams sponsored on the back as a mistake. The next DVD release of Arthur that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's Music Medley, which has the PBS Kids Dash, which Arthur's Music Medley has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur Season 6 funding, with Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background, with Chuck E. Cheese's being the first sponsor. It has the cool Chuck E. Cheese's logo on the screen, but the Avenger Chuck, the newly introduced Avenger Chuck logo, is now on the back cover of Arthur releases beginning in late 2004, while Arthur's First Sleepover and stuff still had Cool Chuck on the back. Anyway, Chuck E. Cheese's is the first sponsor, then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets is the last sponsor. But again, a major error. Teddy Grahams is mistakenly sponsored on the back cover of this DVD. there are some DVD releases of Arthur from 2004 that have the wrong sponsor on the back. I have one DVD release of Arthur that has Teddy Grahams mistakenly sponsored on the back that has the dot transformation system cue that I will show later. Next up is the next DVD release I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's Terrible Teasers, which has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Arthur funding credits from seasons 7 through 8 used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the grassy green checkered grid background on this DVD of Arthur's Terrible Teasers, with Teddy Grahams as the first sponsor, and then Chuck E. Cheese's and Libby's Juicy Juice. But major error, Post Alphabets is incorrectly sponsored on the back cover of this DVD. Next DVD release I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's Chicken Pox, which Arthur's Chicken Pox has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Arthur funding credits from seasons 7 through 8 used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Chuck E. Cheese's as the first sponsor, and then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets as the last sponsor. But again, major error, Teddy Grahams is mistakenly sponsored on the back cover of this DVD of Arthur's Chicken Pox. On the back cover. Next DVD release of Arthur I have the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of DW's Blanky, which this DVD of DW's Blanky has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear at the very end of the DVD after the Arthur funding credits from seasons 7 through 8 used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the grassy green checkered grid background, with Teddy Grahams being the first sponsor, then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Libby's Juicy Juice. But again, major error, Post Alphabets is incorrectly sponsored on the back cover of this DVD. Just like with Arthur's Terrible Teasers. And coincidentally enough, the sponsors in order are exactly the same as Arthur's Terrible Teasers here. DVD release I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2005. Yes, you heard me correctly. 2005 DVD release of Arthur's Money Matters. Which, on this DVD of Arthur's Money Matters, it has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Arthur funding credits from Season 6 with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background. Even though this is a 2005 DVD release, it still uses a PBS Kids ident on there, even though Arthur was already part of the PBS Kids Go block at the time this DVD was released. This is a strange habit with some of the early to mid 2005 DVD releases of Arthur, that they still use PBS Kids idents even after Arthur was moved into the Go block on DVDs. It's strange enough that even though Arthur was moved into the PBS Kids Go block at the time this DVD was released, this and a few other Arthur DVD releases released after this still contain PBS Kids idents on them. And Chuck E. Cheese's is the only sponsor on this DVD. And it has Dot's circular PBS Kids logo in the Season 6 funding as a result of a PBS Kids ident being used. This also applies with Arthur's Treasure Hunt, Arthur's Family Ties, with Arthur's Family Ties using the Season 7 funding with the purple background with Dot's circular PBS Kids logo. It also happens on Arthur's Tooth with the green background in the Season 6 funding, with Dot's circular PBS Kids logo being followed by the fishbowl ident. And on You Are Arthur and Arthur Goes Crosswire with the yellow background with Dot's circular PBS Kids logo before the Dot transformation ident, or system cue, or whatever you call it. Next DVD release that I have of the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it is a 2005 DVD release of The Big Riddle. And this DVD of Arthur the Big Riddle has an interesting version of the PBS Kids Dash Transformation ident. In this DVD of Arthur the Big Riddle, it has a more abridged version of the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue that just starts at the part with Dash in robot form, instead of having this caveman and scuba diver parts coming before it. Because all the other releases, including Arthur's Money Matters, which was also released on the same day, had the full-length Dash Transformation ident, or system cue, with the caveman and scuba diver parts coming before it. But this is the only Arthur DVD to feature an abridged version of Dash Transformation that just fades in at the part with Dash in robot form. And it does not have, strangely, the abridged PBS Kids Dash Transformation ident on this DVD of Arthur the Big Riddle strangely has the abridged version of the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue appear after the Chuck E. Cheese's sponsor. There is no color background in the funding on this DVD for some bizarre reason. Next release that I have of the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q on it is a 2005 DVD release of Arthur's Treasure Hunt, which this DVD of Arthur's Treasure Hunt has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur funding credits from Season 6 with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background, just like with the DVD of Arthur's Money Matters, with Chuck E. Cheese's as the only sponsor. And the Dash Transformation ident on this DVD is full length, with the caveman and scuba diver parts coming before it. And Chuck E. Cheese's is the only sponsor. Next release I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q on it is the 2005 DVD release of Arthur's Family Ties, which has the PBS Kids Dash which this DVD of Arthur's Family Ties has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appear after the Season 7 funding of Arthur with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background. Basically the same as the Season 6 funding, the only difference is Corporation for Public Broadcasting is the last grant, instead of viewers like you. Here's the disc for Arthur's Family Ties. And the Season 7 funding of the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background and the Dash Transformation ident both also appeared on TV broadcasts of Elwood City Turns 100, according to a KBDC program break from 2003. The next release of Arthur that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q is a 2005 DVD release of Arthur Goes on a Field Trip, which, on this DVD of Arthur Goes on a Field Trip, it has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur funding credits from Season 7 through 8, used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the grassy green checkered grid background, with Chuck E. Cheese's being the only sponsor. Here's the disc. This last Arthur DVD release that I have of the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q on it is a 2005 DVD release of Arthur Makes a Movie, which Arthur Makes a Movie has the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur funding credits from Season 7 through 8, used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the grassy green checkered grid background. And it has the Sony Wonder Online bumper coming up after the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue, just like with Arthur Goes on a Field Trip. And here is the disc. I also have a DVD of Arthur's Double Dare coming very soon. So I'll show you that when we get to the Arthur collection sometime. Sometime in March, after I show the Dragon Tales ones. And that was all the DVDs that I have with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it, which I have 26 DVDs with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation ident. So that means we're both very, very close to having the same number of DVDs with the Dash Transformation ident and the 1999 Dot ident. With the Dash Transformation System cue only winning by a very, very small amount. So the Dot System cue was close to being tied, but the Dash Transformation System cue snuck up by 1 point. But we're not exactly done just yet, because I've made some blank DVDs of Arthur with the PBS Kids Dash Transformation ident, and I'll show you these as well. This is a blank DVD, a blank Sony Wonder Edition DVD of Arthur Goes Back to School. I've also created the back cover of it and put the episode and wrote the episode names and description. And I would imagine that this DVD of Arthur Goes Back to School would be released sometime in late 2001. And this blank DVD of Arthur Goes Back to School from late 2001 this blank DVD of Arthur Goes Back to School that I would imagine being released in late 2001, I put the PBS Kids Dash Transformation System cue on it after the Season 6 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background, with Post Alphabets as the first sponsor, and then Lego, and then Libby's Juicy Juice. And yes, I did put the Dash Transformation System cue on a fan-made blank late 2001 DVD of Arthur Goes Back to School. Because I was pretty disappointed that none of the DVDs in general had the Dash Transformation ident appear until 2003. This is a blank DVD version of Arthur's storybook. that I would imagine the blank DVD version of Arthur's Storybook being released in 2003 released in 2003 on the same day Arthur's Tasty Treats, Arthur's Best Friends, Arthur's Baby, and Arthur Writes a Story came out. And on this DVD of Arthur's Storybook, I put the PBS Kids Dash transformation. On this blank DVD of Arthur's Storybook, I put the PBS Kids Dash transformation system cue on it after the season 6 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background, with Chuck E. Cheese's being the first sponsor, then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets. And of course, who could forget this? A fan-made blank 10-disc set of the complete season 7 and 8, which I would imagine the complete season 7 set being released separately on DVD in 2003 on the same day as Arthur's Tasty Treats, Arthur's Best Friends, Arthur's Baby, and Arthur Writes a Story. And as for the season 8 set, I would have that one be released individually in April of 2004. And I would imagine this being released as a double feature set with season 7 and 8 in July of 2004. Here's the back cover for it. Notice this has Juicy Juice, Post Alphabets, Teddy Grahams, and Chuck E. Cheese's on the back. Meaning, yes, you heard me right. I had Post Alphabets and Teddy Grahams sponsored on the back cover. Now, as for where I put the Dash transformation ident on them, I had the PBS Kids Dash transformation ident appear on disc 1 of the complete season 7 after the season 7 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background with Post Alphabets and then Chuck E. Cheese's and then Juicy Juice. After the episodes Francine's Split Decision and Muffy Goes Metropolitan. And on disc 3 of the complete season 7, I put the PBS Kids Dash transformation system cue after the season 7 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background with Post Alphabets, Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Libby's Juicy Juice. After the episodes Elwood City Turns 100 on disc 3 of season 7. And as for season 8, I put the PBS Kids Dash transformation system cue on disc 3 of the complete season 8 after the season 8 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background with Teddy Grahams and then Chuck E. Cheese's and then Libby's Juicy Juice is the last sponsor after the episode Postcards from Buster. After the season 8 funding with Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background. All right. Now I'd like to talk about the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation System Q, which also premiered on September 4th, 2000, alongside the Dash Transformation System Q. The same day Clifford the Big Red Dog and Caillou premiered. And in the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q, basically has the same aspects as the Dash Transformation counterpart. It starts off on a dark green swamp-like background with lime green circles. Except here, unlike the Dash Transformation ident, where Dot was in the background and Dash was in the foreground, the Dot Transformation one has the exact opposite, and that Dash is in the background and Dot is in the foreground. And in the same swamp green background with lime green circles, you see Dot, the girl, and she is at first a tiger with tiger orange-like skin. And then she transforms into an octopus, and when she does, the dark green background becomes blue, and the land becomes water, and the green circles become a pale cyan color. And then Dot has bright purple skin as she transforms into an octopus with dark purple tentacles. And then she transforms into an astronaut with Dot having a greenish blue teal skin color as she transforms into an astronaut, as the water background becomes a dark blue sky background. And then as she becomes an astronaut, after she becomes an astronaut, she floats up like an astronaut would and smiles as she says doink, and then she turns into the circular PBS Kids logo with Dot's circular logo on a dark blue background with a bunch of stars being shown. I do have some DVD releases with the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it, and they're all ARFA releases again. First release I have of the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it is a 2002 DVD release of The Good Sport, which on this DVD of The Good Sport, it has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Season 6 funding of ARFA with the grassy green checkered grid background, with Lego being the first sponsored and Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets. And here's the disc. The next DVD release I have with the 2000 PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it is a 2003 DVD release of ARFA's Family Fun, which also has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Season 6 funding of Arthur with the grassy green checkered grid background, with the same order of sponsors as The Good Sport, with Lego, and then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets. But there is a major error on this DVD, as Chuck E. Cheese's is incorrectly sponsored on the back cover, but Lego is actually shown as the sponsor on the screen. Here's the disc. The next release I have, the 2000 PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it, is the 2003 DVD release of Arthur's Snow Day. Which, on the DVD of Arthur's Snow Day, like before, Arthur's Snow Day also has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur Season 6 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background, with Lego as the first sponsor, then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets. Major error, Chuck E. Cheese's is incorrectly sponsored on the back cover again, just like with Arthur's Family Fun. And this is a 2003 DVD release, and the PBS Kids Snow Globe by then already appeared at the time, but because it has the Season 6 funding and Lego is sponsored, it has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation ident on here instead. Next DVD release I have with the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q is a 2003 DVD release of Arthur Gets Spooked. Which, on this DVD of Arthur Gets Spooked, it has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Season 6 funding of Arthur with the Velveeta cheesy yellow pizza triangle background. With Post Alphabets being the first sponsor, and then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Libby's Juicy Juice. The next DVD release that I have with the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it is a 2003 DVD release of Arthur Cracks the Case. Which, on this DVD of Arthur Cracks the Case, it has the 2000 PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur Season 7 through 8 funding used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background. With Juicy Juice being the first sponsor, then Post Alphabets, and then Chuck E. Cheese's is the last sponsor. disc. Next Arthur DVD release I have, the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on it, is Arthur's 2004 DVD release of Arthur's Pet Follies. And this DVD of Arthur's Pet Follies has the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on it appear after. This DVD of Arthur's Pet Follies has the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation system cue appear after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur, used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Concord grape jelly purple checkerboard background, just like with Arthur Cracks the Case, with Juicy Juice being the first sponsor, then Post Alphabets, and then Chuck E. Cheese's. But there is a major error here, as Teddy Grahams is mistakenly sponsored on the back cover of this DVD. Here's the disc. Next DVD release I have with the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur's Eyes. And this DVD of Arthur's Eyes has the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident. This DVD of Arthur's Eyes has the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation system cue appear after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur, used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns, with the Concord grape jelly purple checkerboard background, with Libby's Juicy Juice being the first sponsor, and then Post Alphabets, which is correctly sponsored this time, and it's also sponsored correctly on Arthur Cracks the Case. And then after Libby's Juicy Juice and Post Alphabets, Chuck E. Cheese's is the last sponsor here. Here is the disc. And the Arthur DVDs I have, the PBS Kids dot transformation ident, are mainly Sony Wonder releases. But this next one's an Our Time Family Entertainment release, and the next release with the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on it is a 2004 DVD release of Arthur Gets Along. Which, on this DVD of Arthur Gets Along, it has the PBS Kids dot transformation ident appear after the Arthur Season 7 funding, with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Libby's Juicy Juice, then Post Alphabets, and then Chuck E. Cheese's, which there actually is a program break, recorded in 2004 off of MPT, recorded after the Arthur episodes Castaway and the Great Sock Mystery, that had the same order of sponsors as this DVD of Arthur Gets Along, and also had the Season 7 funding with the yellow background and the PBS Kids dot transformation ident following it. Here's the disc. The next DVD of Arthur that I have, the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it, is a 2005 DVD release of You Are Arthur, which on the DVD of You Are Arthur, it has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation ident. On this DVD of You Are Arthur, it has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Season 6 funding of Arthur with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Chuck E. Cheese's as the first sponsor, and surprisingly, Rogue's 60-second cinnamon rolls as the next sponsor. Even though Rogue's 60-second cinnamon rolls started sponsoring Arthur when Arthur was in the PBS Kids Go block at the time. What makes this DVD and Arthur Goes Crosswire incredibly awkward is that it has Rogue's 60-second cinnamon rolls sponsored on the screen and on the back cover, and yet it still has a PBS Kids ident on there. In this DVD of You Are Arthur, it's Dot Transformation. The next DVD release I have, the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it, is a 2005 DVD release of Arthur Goes Crosswire, which, just like with the DVD of You Are Arthur, this DVD of Arthur Goes Crosswire also has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Season 6 funding of Arthur with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Dot's circular PBS Kids logo, and with Chuck E. Cheese's and Rose's 60-second cinnamon rolls as the sponsors, with Chuck E. Cheese's being first and then Rose's 60-second cinnamon rolls is last. And here's the disc for Arthur Goes Crosswire. And the last Arthur DVD release that I have with the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it is a 2005 DVD release of Growing Up with Arthur, which on this DVD of Growing Up with Arthur, it has the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q appear after the Arthur Season 8 funding with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Chuck E. Cheese's and Rogue's 60-second cinnamon rolls as the sponsors, with Chuck E. Cheese's going first, and then Rogue's 60-second cinnamon rolls coming last. Here's the disc for Growing Up with Arthur. This is also the only DVD to have the Arthur Season 8 online and local library promo, instead of the one from Season 6 to 7. And those were all the DVD releases I have with the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q on it. I had 11 DVDs with the PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Q. So I had 15 more with the dash transformation ident than with the dot transformation ident. So I didn't have as much with the dot transformation ident, and I had more with dash transformations. So but we're not exactly done just yet, because I made some blank DVDs of Arthur with the dot transformation ident on them as well. Guess what this is? This is a blank Sony Wonder Edition DVD of Arthur Hooray for Health. A fan-made blank fan-made Sony Wonder DVD edition of Hooray for Health. And I would imagine the blank Sony Wonder edition of Hooray for Health being released sometime in late 2001, just like with Arthur Goes Back to School. I wrote the description for this release of Hooray for Health. And on this blank DVD of Hooray for Health, I put the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on it at the end, after the season 6 funding of Arthur, with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background, with Juicy Juice as the first sponsor, and then Post Alphabets, and then Lego as the last sponsor. This is a fan-made Sony Wonder DVD version of Arthur's Travel Adventures, which I would also imagine Arthur's Travel Adventures getting a DVD release in late 2001, just like with Arthur Goes Back to School and Hooray for Health. And on this blank DVD of Arthur's Travel Adventures, I put the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue after the season 6 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background, with Lego as the first sponsor, then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets. I wrote the description for this one as well. And guess what this is? This is a fan-made Sony Wonder edition. This is a fan-made Sony Wonder DVD version of Arthur's Mystery Files, which I would imagine the fan-made Sony Wonder DVD version of Arthur's Mystery Files being released in 2003 on the same day as Arthur Gets Spooked, Arthur Cracks the Case, and the DVD versions of Arthur's Teacher Trouble and Arthur's Pet Business. And here is the actual back cover with the logos and sponsors being rearranged for the fan-made DVD version. And on this fan-made blank DVD of Arthur's Mystery Files, I put the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident. On this blank DVD of Arthur's Mystery Files, I put the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue after the Arthur season 7 through 8 funding used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Concord grape jelly purple checkerboard background. On this blank DVD of Arthur's Mystery Files, I put the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident on it after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Concord grape jelly purple checkerboard background with Juicy Juice is the first sponsor, and then Post Alphabets, and then Chuck E. Cheese's. Although on the VHS release of Arthur's Mystery Files, it had the season 5 funding with the yellow background and the Dash system cue from 1999 with Lego being the first sponsor, then Juicy Juice and Post Alphabets, and the same applies with Arthur's Storybook VHS release as well. And now we go back to the complete Season 7 and Season 8 set, which the DVDs, the discs I used a dot transformation ident on. The discs I used to put the dot transformation ident on, I put the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on disc 1 of Season 7 after the Season 7 funding with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background with Juicy Juice, Post Alphabets, and then Chuck E. Cheese's as the sponsors after the episode Castaway and the Great Sock Mystery. On disc 2 of Season 7 after the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background and the Season 7 funding with the same sponsors after the episodes To Tibble the Truth and Waiting to Go. And on disc 3 of Season 7, I put the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation system cue after the Season 7 funding with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background with the same sponsors as well. After the episodes Pick a Car, Any Car, and Jana's Bedtime Blues on disc 3. And as for Season 8, the discs I put the dot transformation ident on for disc 8. Alright. And as for Season 8, I put the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on disc 4 of Season 8. After the Season 8 funding with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background with Juicy Juice, and then Teddy Grahams, and then Chuck E. Cheese's is the last sponsor. After the episodes Desperately Seeking Desk Wars and Desperately Seeking Stanley, and Muffy's Art Attack and Tales from the Crib. At the end of both episodes, at the end of both Desk Wars and Desperately Seeking Stanley, along with Muffy's Art Attack and Tales from the Crib, both on disc 4. I also put the PBS Kids dot transformation ident. I also put the PBS Kids dot transformation system cue on disc 5 of Season 8. After the Season 8 funding with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background with the same order of sponsors, after the Arthur episodes Flea of Me, You and Me, and Kiss and Tell. And now, I would like to talk to you about the PBS Kids, the last two PBS Kids idents from 2002, which are the Fishbowl and the Snow Globe ones. First, I would like to talk to you about the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Q, which I believe premiered on January 21st, 2002, on the same day Cyber Chase premiered. And in the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Q, it starts off on a lime green background. And Dash, the boy, has a goldfish in a fishbowl on a desk. Dash comes close to the fishbowl, which the goldfish then gets surprised when it sees Dash coming close to the fishbowl. And then, after Dash comes close to the fishbowl, we have Bubbles transition to a bubbly light blue or seafoam-like background. And in that background, we now have Dash imagining himself as an orange goldfish. And then he swims around for a brief time, and then he immediately gets eaten by Dot the girl as a lime green fish. And then afterwards, Bubbles covered the screen to transition into the circular PBS Kids logo, which is Dot's circular logo, on the same seafoam light bluish background. I have 2 DVDs with the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Q on it, and both of them are Arthur releases. One of the 2 Arthur releases I have with the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Q from 2002 is, of course, the 2002 DVD release of Arthur's Only Rock and Roll, starring the Backstreet Boys. And that has the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl System Q, which fades in and out and says pbskids.org. And it has the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Q appear after the Arthur's Only Rock and Roll funding, with viewers like you on a light blue background, with Post Alphabets as the only sponsor. And the other Arthur release that I have with the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Q on it is the 2005 DVD release of Arthur's 2. which on this DVD of Arthur's Tooth, it has the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl System Cue appear after, strangely enough, after the season 6 funding, with the grassy green checkered grid background, with Chuck E. Cheese's as the only sponsor. Even though the DVD releases of The Good Sport, Arthur's Family Fun, and Arthur's Snow Day had the season 6 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background being followed by the 2000 PBS Kids Dot Transformation System Cue. But this DVD of Arthur's Tooth has the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl System Cue appear after the season 6 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background. And Chuck E. Cheese's is the only sponsor. That is quite interesting, to say the least. I even made a blank DVD of Arthur and put the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Cue on one of them. And here it is. It is a fan-made Sony Wonder edition of Arthur Stands Up to Bullying. Now, as for the fan-made Sony Wonder edition of Arthur Stands Up to Bullying, I would imagine that DVD getting a release around March of 2004. And on this fan-made DVD of Arthur Stands Up to Bullying, you're not going to believe this, but I put the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl System Cue after the season 7 through 8 funding used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background. With Juicy Juice being the first sponsor, and then Teddy Grahams Snacks, and then Chuck E. Cheese's is the last sponsor. Which I imagine it will be correctly sponsored. See that? And yeah. And of course, I also put the PBS Kids Fishbowl ident on some of the discs for the fan-made complete Season 7 and Season 8 box set that I showed you before. Now, for the complete Season 7 and Season 8 10-disc set, I put the PBS Kids Fishbowl System Cue on disc 2 of Season 7 after the Season 7 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background, which I actually created it by using aspects of the Season 6 funding and the Season 7 through 8 funding used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns, and I brightened the exposure a little bit to match the brightness of the season 6 funding. So yes, I put for the season 7 and season 8 set, I put the PBS Kids Fishbowl ident on disc 2 of season 7 after the season 7 funding with the grassy green checker grid background with Post Alphabets, and then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Juicy Juice as the sponsors, after the episodes Ants and Arthur's Pants and Don't Ask Muffy. And according to a 2004 WFWA program break, those episodes actually had the PBS Kids Fishbowl system cue after the season 7 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background. I also put the PBS Kids Fishbowl system cue on disc 4 of season 7 after the season 7 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background with the same order of sponsors after the episodes DW's Time Trouble and Buster's Amish Mismatch, and on disc 5 of season 7 after the season 7 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background, again with the same order of sponsors, after both Penelope's Delight and Return of the Snowball and April 9th. And as for season 8, I put the PBS Kids Fishbowl system cue on disc 1 of season 8 after the season 8 funding with the Velveeta Cheesy Yellow Pizza Triangle background with Juicy Juice is the first sponsor, and then Post Alphabets with the Rare Girl announcer, and then Chuck E. Cheese's as the last sponsor. After the episodes Fern Fern and The Secret of Moose Mountain and Thanks a Lot, Binky. And I put the PBS Kids Fishbowl system cue on disc 2 of season 8 after the season 8 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background with of course Chuck E. Cheese's, then Libby's Juicy Juice, and then Teddy Graham's Snacks after the episodes Arthur's Snowbiz and Bugged. And on disc 5 I also put the PBS Kids Fishbowl system cue on disc 5 of season 8 after the season 8 funding with the grassy green checkered grid background with the same order of sponsors after the episodes Bighorns George and Bleep. And finally, I'd like to talk about the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident, which I believe also premiered on television on January 21st, 2002 when Cyber Chase premiered. Now, in the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe system cue, we see a snowy field, and we also see some lime green trees in the background, and we also see Dash ice skating in a blue pond. Dash the boy ice skating in a blue pond. With Dash also being colored blue like the pond. He enjoys ice skating, but then he feels the ground shake and he suddenly stops. And then eventually the camera zooms out to reveal that he is inside of a snow globe. Which the snow globe is yellow, and Dot, the girl, of course, is holding it, and Dot has light powdery bluish skin in the snow globe ident instead of the usual lime green. And then she says doink, and she giggles, and then the snowflakes transition to the circular PBS Kids logo with Dot's circular logo on it in a light blue winter-like background. I only have one DVD with the PBS Kids Snow Globe ident. Or System Cube. And the only DVD that I have with the PBS Kids Snow Globe System Q is a 2007 DVD release of It's a Big, Big World. The Big, Big Sleep. And it's released by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, just like with Dragon Tales releases. And on this DVD of It's a Big, Big World, The Big, Big Sleep, the PBS Kids Snow Globe System Q appears. This DVD of It's a Big, Big World, The Big, Big Sleep has the PBS Kids Snow Globe System Q appear after the It's a Big, Big World online bumper. At the very end of the DVD. And here's the disc. But I'm not exactly done with it just yet, because I actually made some fan-made DVDs of Arthur and put the PBS Kids Snow Globe ident on some of them. I did this because I was disappointed that none of the Arthur DVDs ever used the Snow Globe ident, so I put the Snow Globe ident on some of the blank Arthur DVDs I made, and that also work in the DVD player. And if I had not made them, you might not have seen the PBS Kids Snow Globe ident appearing after Arthur at all. You probably would have still been waiting for a program break recorded after Arthur with the Snow Globe ident, which did appear on TV airings. But I'm glad I was able to make some DVDs with that. I'm glad I was able to make some DVDs of Arthur with the Snow Globe ident so that you could see them beforehand. And of course, one of the DVDs, the blank DVDs of Arthur that I put the PBS Kids Snow Globe ident on, is a blank Sony Wonder DVD version of Arthur's Birthday, which I would imagine the DVD of Arthur. I would imagine the blank Sony Wonder DVD version of Arthur's Birthday being released in May of 2004. It's got the episodes Arthur's, and here I put 6 episodes on here. Not 3, but 6. And on this blank DVD of Arthur's birthday, I put, you're not going to believe this, but I put the 2002 PBS Kids snow globe system cue fading in and out with the URL after the season 7 through 8 funding of Arthur used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the grassy green checkered grid background. With Teddy Grahams being the first sponsor, and then Chuck E. Cheese's, and then Juicy Juice. And yes, I had Teddy Grahams correctly sponsored on the back cover as well. And had the running time say 90 minutes instead of 40. I also put a fan-made version of the Arthur theme with Ziggy Marley and the Backstreet Boys versions combined. And yes, I did put fade in and fade out effects for the snow globe ident, just like how the fishbowl ident faded in and out on Arthur. Another blank DVD of Arthur that I put the PBS Kids Snow Globe system cue on is a blank Sony Wonder DVD version of Arthur's TV Free Week, which I would imagine the Sony Wonder DVD version of Arthur's TV Free Week being released in July of 2004. Now, on the blank DVD of Arthur's TV Free Week, I put the PBS Kids Snow Globe system cue after the season 7 through 8 funding used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Velveeta cheesy yellow pizza triangle background. With Chuck E. Cheese's as the first sponsor, then Juicy Juice, and then Teddy Grahams being the last sponsor. And yes, I had Teddy Grahams correctly sponsored here. So yes, I put the PBS Kids Snow Globe system cue after the season 7 through 8 funding used on seasons 1 through 4 reruns with the Velveeta cheesy yellow pizza triangle background on this blank DVD of Arthur's TV Free Week. With the fade in and fade out effects intact as well. And with the URL. And I even put the PBS Kids Snow Globe ident on some of the discs in the complete Season 7 and 8 box set. 10-disc set. Now, for the complete Season 7 to Season 8 set, I put the PBS Kids Snow Globe system cue on disc 4 of Season 7 after the Season 7 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple checkerboard background, with Chuck E. Cheese's, then Juicy Juice, and then Post Alphabets as the last sponsor. After the episodes The World of Tomorrow and Is There a Doctor in the House on disc 4. And I also put the PBS Kids Snow Globe system cue on disc 1 of Season 8 after the Season 8 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple checkerboard background, which I created using aspects using the Season 7 through 8 funding used on Seasons 1 through 4 reruns and the Season 6 funding respectively respectively to create that. And on disc 1 of season 8, I put the PBS Kids Snow Globe System Q after the season 8 funding with Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background with post alphabets. Then Chuck E. Cheese's, then Juicy Juice after the episodes Dear Adele and Bitsy's Breakup on disc 1 of season 8. And I also put the PBS Kids Snow Globe System Q on disc 2 of season 8 after the season 8 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background as well, with the same order of sponsors, after the episodes Frankenstein's Monster and DW Dancing Queen. And I also put the PBS Kids Snow Globe System Q on disc 3 of season 8 after the season 8 funding with the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background with the same order of sponsors after the episodes Vomit Trocious and Sue Ellen Chickens Out. With fade in and fade out effects on all of those discs for the Snow Globe ident. My apologies for this video being pretty long, but that was a pretty exciting looking at all the DVDs that I had with different PBS Kids idents. Stay tuned for a stream coming up in 3 days where I'm going to be showing Movie and Game Lover 98, the Dragon Tales DVD collection. So stay tuned for that.